South Park just went wild on Melania Trump in one of the most brutal takedowns the show has ever animated. This latest episode rips open the walls of the White House and turns Melania's ghost into the living embodiment of Trump's worst decisions, finally haunting him back. South Park is holding a mirror to the chaos, the secrets, and the consequences that refuse to stay buried. Everything about this episode felt louder, stranger, and more unhinged than anything South Park has pulled off in years. Season 28, Episode 2 detonated.
I'm pretty sure that's your wife, sir.
My wife?
And the moment people realized the entire plot centered on Melania Trump haunting the White House, the internet went into a complete tailspin. But the real shock wasn't the ghost itself, it was how the show portrayed her. The tone was darker, the humor was sharper, and the whole thing carried this chilling energy that fans immediately called one of the wildest moves in recent South Park history.
Mr. President, this entity you speak of, how many times has it appeared?
It appears more and more lately.
Melania's ghost isn't goofy or clumsy or cartoonish. It's quiet, almost painfully quiet, and that's what makes it terrifying.
What kind of thing?
Sometimes I see it in a mirror or in the hallway.
Ends at a hallway, she appears out of nowhere, standing in the corners of hallways, drifting behind doors, hovering beside characters without a single word. It feels like she's watching everything, waiting for something, carrying a weight that never gets explained. Here's the part that makes the whole thing even more interesting. Melania's ghost wasn't placed in the story for shock value. There's a real-life controversy sitting at the center of it all.
Okay, so then over here is where you're gonna have the big golden pillars that you guys wanted?
Earlier this year, Trump pushed ahead with the plan to demolish the East Wing and replace it with a $300 million ballroom. For months, that decision stirred debate everywhere. News outlets, political circles, online arguments, you name it.
Okay, and then right over here is where we're gonna put your dance floor.
All right.
Wait, dance floor?
South Park took that tension and turned it into pure narrative chaos. Every brick they knocked down, every chandelier they swung was basically a slap to decorum, logic, and anyone still clinging to sanity. It's the kind of chaos that makes you laugh, cringe, and question if the White House will ever be taken seriously again.
Ever since I tore down the East Wing, there's this thing that keeps appearing.
In the episode, the demolition is more than construction noise. It's the moment everything starts going wrong. The show treats the East Wing like it held something fragile, something buried, something you shouldn't mess with. And when it's destroyed, the past pushes its way back into the present.
This is the first time we've seen Melania, right?
That's the first time we've seen Melania. Yeah.
Okay.
That's so far, she's sort of like a ghoulish just linker, which honestly
the
fits.
hat.
That shiny new ballroom becomes this twisted metaphor. Not for celebration or prestige, but for covering up, glossing over problems, rebuilding the image while ignoring the cracks underneath. South Park's message hits hard. No matter how fancy the ballroom is, you can't bury everything. Something always comes back, and in this story it comes back wearing heels and a haunting purple hat. That hat is one of the boldest choices in the episode. Instead of making up a costume for Melania's ghost, South Park revived the giant purple hat she wore during her state visit to the UK back then. It sparked jokes, memes, criticism. The whole internet had something to say about it. But in the episode, the hat isn't funny. It's unsettling. It hides her face so completely that Melania stops looking like a person and becomes a silhouette, a presence, a shadow following people from room to room.
Melania Trump put her most fashionable foot forward. Kate Middleton dazzled in gold, and Queen Camilla made sure nobody lingered too long with the First Lady.
That one design choice changes everything. Without a face, Melania becomes a symbol, and a pretty heavy one. The hat turns her into a figure without expression, without voice, without identity. Fans immediately noticed how the show used it to represent the things she never said publicly, the feelings she never showed, the stories she never told. The hat is oversized to the point of being overwhelming, as if it's swallowing her whole. It makes her ghost feel like she's been consumed by expectations, silence, and the image she had to maintain.
Or Paranormal Activity, into the White House. So after the meeting, we see J.D. Vance calling Peter Thiel, telling them like they're onto our plan, and we see that Thiel has Cartman sedated in a hotel room outside D.C.
And this is where the episode gets unexpectedly emotional. Melania isn't portrayed as a monster or a villain. She's a reminder of everything that gets ignored, pushed aside, or beautified when people in power want a clean slate. The ballroom becomes the symbol of what gets rebuilt. Melania's ghost becomes the symbol of what doesn't go away.
I can't get away from it. It's everywhere I go.
But let me tell you, the part that absolutely broke people was how she starts chasing Trump around the White House like he's some tiny panicked creature who's been caught stealing snacks.
That thing! It's not there anymore!
I'm not kidding. Like every time he turns a corner, there she is, silently gliding behind him like his worst decisions. Trump keeps pretending he's in control, but honestly, he looks like a man who's 2 seconds away from climbing a curtain. The dude is tiptoeing around hallways like a raccoon caught in a kitchen, peeking over his shoulder, whispering. And it gets even funnier because South Park does not hold back. At one point, Trump tries to hide in the bathroom, and even there, she shows up behind him in the mirror like a paranormal jump scare that didn't get scheduled.
The woman is alive! She's in the bathroom!
He's scrambling, slipping, shutting doors, opening windows, doing everything except admitting he's scared out of his mind. Meanwhile, Melania's ghost never rushes, never shouts, never moves wrong. She just appears, and every time she does, Trump shrinks a little more.
Yet the president swears something was in the room with him.
Is he going to be all right?
Pretty shaken. Pam Bondi is in there now trying to calm him down and make him feel better.
It's the wildest, funniest reversal. The president reduced to a jittery little figure sprinting around the White House while his ghostly first lady calmly stalks him. And if you thought you'd seen South Park go off the rails before, nope. You did not expect the White House to turn into some paranormal circus tent.
Look, it's back!
What's back?
You've got some shit on your nose again!
Oh my God, what is going on?
So here's what happens. Pam Bondi, yes, that Pam Bondi, is portrayed as this chaotic, over-caffeinated spiritual medium who walks into the East Wing like she's about to fix everyone's problems with a candle, a chant, and pure delusion. And somehow, everyone else just goes along with it.
Oh my God!
But let me tell you, South Park takes her brown-nosing reputation and turns it into something literally visible. Every time she leans in to flatter Trump, this weird brown smudge starts forming on her nose. The more she praises him, the darker it gets.
Subject is showing some kind of viscous residue on her nose.
Wow, what the f is it?
Until finally someone points out, what is that? And upon investigation, it turned out to be rectoplasm. Yes, South Park invented a substance that forms on her face every time she kisses up to Trump too hard. That's the level of insanity we're dealing with.
In this case, it appears to be some kind of rectoplasm.
And it keeps getting more outrageous because as the seance gets more chaotic, the rectoplasm literally drips. She's trying to call the spirit world, waving her arms around, shouting things, and meanwhile, her nose looks like it's melting. It's peak South Park, disturbing, stupid, sharp as a knife satire wrapped in one giant brown smear.
The charges were filed by Attorney General Pam Bondi, who said that the president is a great man.
Then the political figures start showing up. Brendan Carr, Kristi Noem, basically people who should absolutely not be anywhere near a spiritual ritual. Yet here they are, sitting cross-legged like they're in the world's most dysfunctional corporate retreat.
Everyone, please put your hands on the table.
Oh my God, this is really scary.
The president is a...
And instead of a policy discussion, we're watching them hold hands around a table like spirits of political scandals past. Show yourselves. Honestly, it's comedy gold. And just when the seance is reaching this peak level of what are we doing, Melania's ghost violently interrupts the entire thing. She crashes through the ritual. Her ghost isn't just haunting the White House, she's haunting the people who keep trying to rewrite the past like none of it ever happened.
I am speaking to the entity in this house.
Her interruption turns the seance into this symbolic moment. The ghosts of the Trump era don't stay buried. They don't fade away. They come back swinging, and the scene is hilarious.
Restless spirit! We only wish to communicate!
Holy shucks, he's like What is that?
Now let me tell you something. No one expected Melania Trump to become one of the show's deepest metaphors. You probably clicked play thinking her ghost would float around for a cheap punchline, maybe do a spooky boo and leave. But honestly, South Park surprised everyone. And here's the clever part. They don't portray Melania's ghost as evil, not even close. She's unsettling, she's tragic, she's wandering, like someone forgotten in the middle of a renovation nobody asked for. It feels like the show is saying, hey, when politics bulldoze through everything to build something shiny and new, something gets lost, and it doesn't go quietly.
In other news, many people are saying that South Park sucks now.
And now we get to one of the funniest parts of the episode, because South Park didn't just roast politicians this time. They roasted themselves. And honestly, you did not expect this level of self-awareness from a show that normally just runs face first into a joke without blinking. Throughout the episode, there are these little winks at the audience. Complaints, jokes, sarcastic comments about how people say the show has become too political. And instead of pretending they haven't heard it, Trey and Matt basically said, South Park sucks now. The ghost storyline becomes this meta commentary. It's not just haunting the White House, it's haunting the show itself. And honestly, that's what makes the whole episode feel so self-aware. They're showing us that they know their Trump content keeps coming up, and instead of dodging it, they turn it into a punchline. The episode reads like a direct response to the absurdity of modern politics, capturing the tension of the 2024-2025 political climate in a way that is terrifyingly precise. Every joke hits with a double edge. Funny on the surface, but underneath it, there's a pointed critique of the chaos, secrecy, and ego that define the Trump era. The Melania storyline in particular cut through the noise like a knife. She isn't just a character, she's a symbol of the fallout from decades of political vanity and mismanaged power, and fans responded with a mix of awe, fear, and heated debate. This isn't meme culture chatter. This is emotional, political, and visceral. People were arguing about it at dinner tables, in comment sections, and on social media threads long after the episode ended. South Park had succeeded in turning animation into a cultural flashpoint, something that both entertains and unsettles.
What? You? What did he do?
He lies!
Oh, you big.
Corruption!
She's not possessed. Pam Bondi's trying to get my joke.
And then there's the ending. Brutal, haunting, and unforgettable. Melania's ghost doesn't disappear neatly. She fades, returns, lingers, and refuses to be ignored. It's a powerful metaphor. No matter how many East Wings are demolished or rebuilt, the past keeps coming back to haunt the present. South Park isn't just telling jokes about Trump or the administration. They're saying something darker about American politics itself. The show implies that the Trump era isn't over. It's a spectral presence tied to the nation's identity, lurking in the halls and corners of power. By the time the credits roll, viewers are left uneasy, unsettled, and thinking, exactly as the creators intended. The laughter is there, yes, but it's laced with a chilling awareness that some ghosts refuse to be exorcised, and some mistakes never vanish. South Park has always pushed boundaries, but this episode reminds everyone why the show still stings. It's fearless, savage, and brutally honest.